Well, usually they used to close our room at 6 p.m. We were supervisors, but after 6 p.m. we could not have any direct contact with the children to try and make it easier for them. There was a child who was 13 years old, and he would stand at the window and start calling us and calling out to his mother, and he would continue crying until morning. So we couldn't wait for morning to arrive so that we can try to lighten his suffering. A large number of children also experienced involuntary urination, which was very embarrassing. So we would take away their mattresses and clean them. And this goes to show how afraid they were. There was a child who did not trust us, who did not trust the other people who were with him, and we learned later that he was beaten during interrogation and he was blackmailed. One of the hardest cases was with one particular child who experienced great difficulty in adapting to the people with him in prison, and I found out that later he actually committed suicide by hanging himself in his room as a result of the difficult circumstances in which he was living. We noticed that he was not adapting, he was not mingling with the other children, he was not mingling with us. It wasn't until a month or 45 days later that he started having some contact between him and the people with him or the other inmates. It's very difficult when a detainee or a prisoner tells you, "I want my mother." Question: what do you do in that case? Answer: well, we try to treat them with as much humanity as we can muster. We try to tell them, consider me your father, consider me your older brother. The day of Eid, for instance, on the Eid morning, we used to have certain rituals, certain celebrations that were part of our resilience efforts. So you can only imagine the child who would wait for the Eid morning to see his parents, to see his new clothes, would see the jailer instead and would see the jail cell. So imagine how hard it must have been for them. There was one time when they brought a detainee who had lost his leg and he had to live with the other inmates, and obviously they need special circumstances, they need special care. So imagine, not just for that detainee, but other children as well. There was another case where there was a detained minor whose body had marks of dog bites as well as the shoes of soldiers. So that's part of the mistreatment that they were being subjected to.
And these testimonies are only a part of what we're hearing from those prisoners that have been freed lately. They're saying that even after they've heard all those testimonies from earlier, what's happening now and after October 7th is even much and much worse.
Nida Ibrahim reporting from Ramallah in the